Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest episode of Tales from Outer Space, where I like to take stories from across the internet and read them for your enjoyment. This particular story is called The Uplift Test, written by Catfish21SM. Report, what are your findings on 67289E? Yes, sir. As expected, we've determined the species present there is sapient. They have built quite an impressive society. They call themselves humans. We have received the results from our uplift test and determined their eligibility for uplift. And what are the results? Yes, sir. It appears that they are not eligible for uplift. They scored an eligibility score of roughly 13%. Why so low? Well, firstly, they have evolved on the Category 7 Deathworld, meaning that they are quite unstable and dangerous. They are fairly unpredictable. This has led to some very interesting scientific advancements on their part. However, this merely increases their danger level. That's not enough to disqualify them, let alone give them such a low score. What else is there? Well, sir, aside from that, they are a predatory species. They are omnivores, but it appears that on average they prefer more flesh in their diet than plants. This has led to a very expansionist nature. Due to their aggression levels and expansionist nature, it appears that they often fight wars amongst themselves. We have determined from their own history records that war is very common amongst their species. That's very interesting. That is certainly something that we should be wary of. Giving our technology to such a violent species may be dangerous. However, that is still not enough to result in such a low score. Are there any further reasons for the low score? Yes, sir. They have a global wireless network of communication devices. They are able to create, share, and access information over this network. While much of the content on this network is relatively safe and even interesting, some of this information has led one of our scientists, who accidentally found this information, into a comatose state. Furthermore, it appears to have created malicious programs for the purpose of stealing from or sabotaging others. These programs are shared under the guise of useful or helpful programs. Our systems were infected with several of these viruses during the test. They were relatively harmless and no meaningful information was stolen. However, it was quite a terrifying experience. That is definitely something that we will have to prepare for if they are to ever be integrated into galactic society. While that is certainly enough to fail them, it is still not enough for such a low score. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Yes, sir. Our final piece of information is from their own network that we accessed. I present to you all a list of species that the humans have directly brought to extinction due to overhunting or extermination. It is possible that if uplifted, they will try to bring some of us to extinction as well. This is real? Yes, sir. The list of species that they have indirectly brought to extinction is much larger. This is certainly quite alarming. It appears that we might have to consider possible measures for containment. A few days later, in a galaxy far, far away. Sir, it appears that we finally have the results from the Uplift Test. You're speaking about the Galactic Council from Galaxy FK 502.6399b. Yes, sir. We are currently extracting our volunteers from the system. It seems that they were unable to tell the simulated Earth-like planet from a natural planet, and they could not tell that our volunteers were actually from an advanced civilization. So the test was not compromised. Very good. And the results? They gave us a score of 13%. They decided to monitor the primitive version of our civilization and make a later decision as to whether or not to gloss our planet. They did not decide to wipe us out entirely, but they chose not to uplift. Very good. If that is how they chose to handle us, then we'll handle them the same way. Erase the planet. Make them think that it was a glitch in their system or a mass hallucination or something along those lines. We'll monitor them going forward. They sound quite passive, so I doubt resetting the galaxy will be necessary. However, remain prepared just in case. Any word from the Galactic Council that made contact with us last week? Yes, sir, they have apparently reached Stage 3. They are not yet advanced enough for us to consider allowing them to integrate into our society. It would be the equivalent of uplifting them. It was decided that they should only be observed until they were advanced enough to uplift. We were prepared to decline their request upon approval. Very good. You are approved. Decline their request. Let them know that Stage 6 is our minimum. However, by the time they reach that, I doubt that it will still be our minimum, so tell them that they better put their proverbial feet on the pedal if they want to prove their worth and join us. Yes, sir, I'll send a response immediately. Good. Is there anything else on the report? No, sir, nothing new. Then, do we have any updates on the new universe that we were building? The one with magic and all that? Yes, sir. We have completed the Big Bang process and are now using time diodes to speed up the process. They plan to analyze how evolution will work and the new laws of nature before making a recreational copies. So far, all of our simulations have proved rather accurate. Good. I can't wait to be reincarnated as an elf and go on adventures. After about 4.5 billion Earth years at this jobber, I think it's about time I retire. Don't you? Yes, sir. We will all miss you dearly, but we hope that you have a fantastic retirement. We'll be ready for you if you ever decide to return. Thank you. I'll stick around for a little while longer, even if an AI would be just as good as this job as I am. Maybe even better. I do still enjoy it. I suppose that's the reason that they still allow me to work it. All of us feel the same, sir. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. If you ever decide to join me, then I'll be more than happy to invite you to my reality. We might have to give that some consideration, sir. It'll be quite boring without you around. End of story. Story called So One Human Passed Through, written by the Cursed Hasn't Moved. It hadn't even been a week, standard, since the strange diminutive biped had come through the Umvia station and Green City, translated, and the biped hadn't spent much time there in the grand scheme of things. However, everyone was pretty sure that the toddler-sized biped was a male. Passing hadn't left ripples so much as it left waves. Some of these waves were, well, they were very wave-like. An article in the True Jakku Tribune. Eat a specific poisonous frog that looks similar to a local delicacy. You egg-breaking murderers! Let the Star Sailors dispense justice! This reporter for one is glad I say, that the criminals will be on a penal ship set to dirty and dangerous work, and we'll never see them again. We see our detaching politicians calling for the return of our criminals to face our justice. But I say that they have something to hide. And for those calling for the arrest of Sneaky, that strange, tiny, and surprisingly violent bipedal mammal for vigilantism, I remind you that he is a Star Sailor by adoption and therefore protected by the treaties with the crowd. So go break your own eggs. This reporter, like many regular people, is happy to no longer live in fear of the gangers that got going and stabbing me in the streets. For this reason, I and the True Jakku endorse the just do what the Star Sailors would do party, even if their name is a mouthful. At the rally, for years, our tailless politicians blamed the warm bloods for our poverty. For years, they let the thieves and murderers own this station. For years, our tailless politicians blamed the warm bloods for our poverty. For years, they let thieves and murderers own the station. For years, when folks disappeared from the lower levels, Station Sec would just shrug and tell us that nothing they could do. Yet, one tiny warm blood just said no. No to ransom, no to blackmail, no to slavery, no to the murderers. One warm blood and his adopted family. So, I promise to build at least 6 statues of this sneaky if you elect me as mayor of Umphia Station.
Will you keep the Star Sailors on patrol?
Someone from the large crowd asked. Better, I will have them train our station check to patrol the way that they do. Bulkhead shaking cheers rang out. On a popular stream.
No, your taste is trash. The original short meme is better.
Oh, come on, you absolute troglodyte. Look at how adorable he is in his fancy clothes. And that's obviously a salute from his culture. It's adorable. Listen, in the original meme, he is scowling. Look at how scrunched up his little face is. By the great egg, you have no sense of style. A jumpsuit like he's working on his ship compared to those fancy black clothes. A great egg yourself. The size difference with the kid in the original makes it funnier. The stream devolved into profanity and shouting. At a different rally. Actually, it was my idea to call in the Star Sailors, so re-elect Boo! Liar! Go eat rotten food, item. How about we check the data from the sailors for your name? Now, people. As mayor, I served you, She was cut off by being pelted with rotten foodstuffs as the crowd chanted the name of the adorable but terrifying biped with patches of fur on his head and face. A single human, and they didn't even know what he was, had passed through this area like a gale. Just one. He didn't even do it on purpose. End of story. I'd like to thank Inglet for being a legendary Tier 6 patron. It is super duper extra appreciated, with little sprinkles on top. Thank you. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.